Antonio starts right now.
Hope you had a great Easter weekend. Tons of humidity out there. We had some big thunderstorms in our area late yesterday that kicked out quite a bit of hail. We'll talk to Mike Osterhage, who is back after being off last week, in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, April 18th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I didn't mind the rain at all. It was kind of nice.
I actually heard the rumbles of thunder, and I was tracking the hail on our app of Mike Osterhage because I was hearing rumors of baseball-sized hail out near Medina.
Last report, because we're all texting Justin, Katie, Sarah, Adam, and out there about, baseball, 2.5-inch diameter hail, tennis ball, baseball-sized hail out there. And very few and far between as far as the storms. I mean, they're really, really isolated. And you said you got some rain?
Yes, I did.
See,
nice.
We're not that far from each other. I didn't really get any. I mean, maybe a couple of drops, and that was about it. So it was, like I said, very isolated. Everything is gone now. We still have a lot of leftover humidity this morning and lots of clouds, but that's going to be changing by about late morning hours, and we'll get some drier air in here. It's going to be a really pleasant day. Enjoy it because it won't last long. 71 degrees right now, upper 60s in the hill country. We are anywhere from about 10, 12 degrees above normal right now. Yep, still plenty of humidity. Dew points well up into the 60s and low 70s. That's when you get above that threshold line of 60, and it's definitely muggy out there. And some allergens. Oak. I don't know if you're an oak sufferer, but wow, the past week or so has just been miserable with the oak. It still on the high side, 7,800, low amounts of everything else. This morning, we're going to have some clouds hanging around here and 68 degrees, so we'll still be about 10 above normal. Wind out of the northeast, so that northeasterly wind is going to pull in some drier air, and so the humidity is going to be dropping down later on today. It is going to be on the breezy side. Winds out of the northeast 10 to 20 miles per hour, 85 for a high temperature. So really, really nice day. Enjoy today because humidity is going to definitely make a return. Couple of showers are possible the next few days. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Mike, thank you. New this morning, San Antonio police are hoping you can help them track down 2 people involved in an aggravated assault at an auto parts store on the northeast side. Happened earlier this month at the Auto Zone on Pear and Beidle. We're told employees were closing the store for the night when a man and woman arrived. The man was then led inside by an employee as the woman waited outside. Man made a purchase and left the store as the woman outside started to photograph some of the employees' vehicles. When police asked what she was doing, the man pulled out a gun, according to police. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information. That number is 224-STOP.
And topping your morning headlines, the search for the possible suspects in a deadly shooting in Pittsburgh is still underway.
That's right. Police believe multiple shooters are responsible for the holiday weekend violence there. And we're learning more about a shooting in Boston and 2 mass shootings in the state of South Carolina.
CNN's Cole Higgins reports.
In Pittsburgh early Sunday morning, a mass shooting breaking out at a large party held at an Airbnb.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, here we are Easter, and we have multiple families, 2 that won't see a loved one.
2 people under the age of 18 are dead, 8 others wounded by gunfire. Police say as many as 200 people were at the party, many of them underage.
How can you even have a holiday when your child was involved in something traumatic like this?
More than 90 rounds from multiple guns were fired inside and outside of the home, according to the police chief.
This goes back to having too many guns, too many illegal guns on the streets.
In Columbia, South Carolina, 1 man is now in custody after a mass shooting at a mall on Saturday.
We didn't know who was shooting, what direction it was coming from. And it was really terrifying.
14 people were injured, at least 9 of whom were shot. 5 others hurt while attempting to flee from the chaos. To the south of Columbia in Hampton County, 9 people were shot early Sunday morning at a nightclub. The investigation being led by the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. And in Boston, 2 people are in critical condition after a shooting early Sunday in the Chinatown neighborhood. Boston police say 3 suspects were taken into custody after the vehicle they were fleeing in crashed. The investigation into that shooting is ongoing. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
And today, President Joe Biden could restart the sale of onshore leases for oil and gas drilling on federal lands, breaking one of his 2020 campaign promises. 144,000 acres of public lands will be up for lease in 9 states. The president did sign an order pausing the sale of new leases when he came into office. However, a federal judge in Louisiana said they had to go forward. The decision comes as gas prices spike out of control and the White House faces political pressure to find ways to supercharge domestic production.
There's no way for Biden to meet his campaign climate promises as well as his international commitments unless he actually addresses leasing on public lands. And the first step is stopping new leasing.
The Department of Interior insists they work to raise the royalties of the plots for the first time to nearly 50%, also promising to include the input of tribes and take environmental concerns into account like never before.
Just a reminder, today is the tax deadline. This year, filers will have to factor in the child tax credit, the third stimulus check, and new rules about reporting income from cryptocurrency. But if you need more time, do not worry. You can request an extension through October 17th, according to the IRS. If you're still waiting for the IRS to process your 2020 taxes, just know you can still file last year's. We have more information on KSAT.com.
New York City employers are preparing to put pay ranges on job listings as the new law takes effect. The goal of the law, which takes effect on May 15th, is to even the playing field for job applicants by requiring salary information on all job listings. The law designed to narrow the gender pay gap and provide more workplace transparency. However, some employers say they are not ready and need to spend more time setting compensation ranges for every job title. The transparency could potentially upset existing employees when they find out new hires could be making more.
This Easter weekend, one of the busiest travel weekends of the spring, the TSA screening millions of people at airports across the country.
Many airlines struggling to stay on schedule. Here's ABC's Elwin Lopez.
Travelers taking advantage of easing COVID-era restrictions and flooding the nation's roads and airports. TSA reporting one of the busiest travel weekends since 2019. The number of travelers screened at airports across the country nearing pre-pandemic levels. Millions on the move, reuniting with their families both across the U.S.
What was it like to be able to be with family during this time?
Always great when you get a chance to go where you need to go.
And overseas, Liat and her children are back in Atlanta after visiting family in Israel.
It was fun to see my family again.
But a nationwide pilot shortage is making it hard for airlines to keep up with demand. JetBlue is slashing flights by up to 10% to ensure passengers face fewer delays and cancellations.
There aren't enough people who want to be pilots. We have 2 years of pent-up demand. People want to travel, whether it's to see family and friends or take a vacation, and they are out there.
That was ABC's Owen Lopez reporting. The holiday rush far from over as more people make their way home today.
And time now, 4:37 and 71 degrees for now.
Just ahead, that cargo ship's been stuck for weeks in the Chesapeake Bay, finally free. We're tracking the latest.
And a quick look at the roads with Trans Guide. There's a look there at I-35, I-37. And Highway 90, a couple is pretty quiet this morning.
I saw at least one stalled vehicle on my way in this morning, but a Hero truck was out there. So take a live look outside. Yes, prepare for the humidity. What's the rest of our week look like? Mike Osterhage gets us up to speed on your early Monday morning. You're watching GMSA. .441, the Ever Forward is finally, well, forward. It had been stuck in the Chesapeake Bay since March 13th when it became grounded, leaving Baltimore. Several agencies worked to free the ship. Crews dug out at least 84,000 cubic yards of mud from around the vessel. That's about 27 barges worth of mud.
A Falcon 9 rocket successfully launched from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The SpaceX rocket is deploying 2 surveillance satellites for the National Reconnaissance Office. The satellites will be used to scour the Earth's oceans for radio transmissions to triangulate and pinpoint the position of ships. Yesterday's launch reused the same Falcon 9 rocket booster from a previous mission.
Pretty cool. 441, about 71 degrees.
After the break, a pilot who survived a plane crash has been reunited with a police officer who pulled him to safety. That's next in your GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, shocking footage caught on a police body cam. showing a California Metrolink train obliterating a downed plane in January. The pilot pulled to safety with no time to spare. Quick-thinking, fast-acting LAPD officers saving Mark Jenkins' life.
Just thinking back on that moment, just hearing the train and feeling the vibrations through the floor and just hearing the crumpling metal, and I was just like, wow, that was close.
I had seconds to make a decision on what to do. I knew that I had to take evasive action and land somewhere that didn't kill people.
And now a reunion. Jenkins meeting the 4 officers who saved him. Our station KABC there to document the emotional and unlikely moment. What was that emotional reunion like? Find out at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
And there are big elections coming up in May, and on May 7th is one of the most important votes, the $1.2 billion bond program. It is the largest bond program in the city's history and is not projected to increase the city's tax rate. The 2022 bond program Chair Brendan Logan joined Leading SA this weekend to discuss those details.
At $1.2 billion, this is the largest bond program in San Antonio's city history. And here's the thing, it is not projected to increase the city's tax rate. There are 6 proposals, 183 different projects, and they cover a variety of topics. Topics ranging from fixing our local roads to helping with affordable housing. Brandon Logan joined us to talk about a lot, including how we will be able to pass this program without raising that tax rate.
The dollars come from the general fund. And it's over a 5-year period of time. I think we're also in a unique position this year with some of the COVID relief dollars through ARPA, TxDOT, et cetera. We've been able to leverage nearly $270 million in addition to the $1.2 billion coming out of our general budget over the next 5 years.
We also talked about how these propositions were shaped, what the community involvement looked like, and what it means for the future of San Antonio. Now, this is just a small part of our discussion. You can check out the full conversation right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Then join us next Sunday, 8 a.m. for our next Leading SA segment. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Max. Let's take a look outside right now with our traffic authority coverage and TransGuide, and we've kind of hit the sweet spot in the early morning right now. Light traffic, no delays, and we're not seeing any accidents on the highways and byways of the Alamo City as of 4:47.
You know, earlier I said that we got rain, but actually not at my house, Mike. I was thinking it was actually at my mom's house, which is off of Marbuck Road and 410. So that's probably why.
Yeah, on the far northwest side, west side, got some decent rain. And then out there around Medina County, Bandera County, just got pummeled with those heavy storms. And they hit hard, they hit quick, and then they pretty much went away. And that was it. It was really, really localized. Here's a great picture now up around Sisterdale. Got some clipped by the thunderstorms, and yes, it was nice to hear the sound of thunder. Some folks did get some much needed rain. Rest of us, nope, we didn't really see anything. We still have a lot of leftover clouds hanging around here as of right now. This is the satellite radar picture going back 12 hours, and there's those big storms. And again, they started out there in parts of the hill country and then raced on through. And they're going to the southeast at a pretty good clip, about 20-25 miles per hour. And like we were talking about off the top of the show, anywhere from about inch, 2 inch, even bigger than that. So like tennis ball, almost baseball size hail in around parts of Bandera, right around Medina in Bandera County, and then continue down to the southeast, and that's it. And then upstairs in the atmosphere right now, we've got some very, very dry air, this darker shade of gray, and so that means we're going to have a lot of blue skies today. Also, we have wind that's coming in here out of the northeast, and that's pulling in drier air. As a matter of fact, compared to this time yesterday up around Austin, LaGrange, Fredericksburg, much drier, again, compared to 24 hours ago, and dew point temperatures will continue to drop down as this northeasterly wind pulls in that drier air. So even by mid-morning, it's going to be much more comfortable around here, mid to late morning, about 10:30 or so this morning, and then dew points drop into the 40s today. So really, really nice, plenty of sunshine, blue skies out there, and tomorrow's going to start off okay. We'll still have relatively low dew point temperatures, relatively low humidity, kind of on the comfortable side, but then that's going to be coming back in here really quickly as we go through the day tomorrow. Today, like I said, we've got some humidity right now. We've got a few clouds hanging around here, and then that northeasterly wind is going to continue to pull in the drier air. So by 10, 11 o'clock this morning, it'll be much more comfortable. It's going to start to get on the breezy side. We'll be in the mid 70s by late morning hours, 78 degrees today at noon, and then we top off right around the mid 80s later on today, up to 85. And again, it is going to be somewhat on the breezy side with that nice low humidity out there. So we've got lots of sunshine today, and tonight we're going to have mostly clear skies. We'll start to see a few more clouds try and move on in here. A fairly decent start tomorrow. Clouds increase tomorrow, and then there's also a chance, and I think this model kind of overdoes things somewhat, but there is that chance for a couple of showers out there later on tomorrow, just one or two of them, perhaps a slightly better chance of rain on Thursday. 78 degrees today at noon. We are going to have a lot more sunshine out there, and then good looking day. Get out and enjoy it, open up the windows. These are going to be fewer and further between, as we go on in toward the summertime to have low humidity like it's going to be the case today, 85 degrees. Humidity comes back during the day tomorrow, lots of clouds, 80, a couple of showers possible, 87 Wednesday. Notice the low temperatures staying up about 70. Always a good indication of a lot more humidity around here. So plenty of clouds, especially in the morning, a little more sunshine in the afternoons. If you had to pick a day with a better chance of rain, it's going to be Thursday, albeit not great still.
All right, still pretty good looking week overall. Looking forward to tomorrow morning too.
Tomorrow morning is going to be nice. Today, tomorrow morning, and then the rest of the week is going to feel like, well, late April.
Perfect day to take us to lunch, Steph.
Oh, okay.
If you so choose.
I'll put that on my calendar.
It's not going to happen. 4:51, about 71 degrees.
Sure. Oh, yeah, after SA Live, of course. And just ahead, which movies topped and which movies flopped at the weekend box office.
Pick three numbers this morning: 842, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 5736, Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 13, 14, 17, 21, 32. Lotto Texas 4, 8, 27, 32, 33, 48. And your Powerball numbers: 15, 21, 32, 62, 65, Powerball 26, Power Play 5. Good luck.
If you listen carefully enough, the past whispers to you.
Good news and bad for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. The third film in the Harry Potter spin-off series opened in first with $43 million domestically.
3 points to Hufflepuff.
That's good. But it's also the lowest debut gross in the franchise's history, which is seeing steadily declining returns.
I'm going to be a priest.
The weekend's other major release, Mark Wahlberg's Father Stu, a flop. Only $5 million for a fifth-place opening.
I'm vengeance.
It was a big weekend for the Batman. It crossed the $750 million threshold in global earnings, just under half of that in North America. Robert Pattinson's debut as the Dark Knight drops on HBO Max Monday. And Rick Moranis is 69 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Moving right along at about 5 till 5.
Ahead in our next half hour, new details as the war rages on in Ukraine and what we're now learning about the area expected to be hit hard next.
And checking the roads with TransGuide one more time. If you're headed out the door, 1604 Bandera Road, things look great. They also look very good at I-10 at Probant. Stephen Cavazos is in the house. He'll have an update coming up at the top of the hour. We'll be back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. Outside with live cam, the storms are gone. In its place, humidity and a slight drop in temperatures is in our forecast. Overall, pretty good looking week. We'll talk to Mike, who is back coming up in just a moment. Just good to have him back here in the studio with us this morning. It is Monday. It is April 18th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. Some kids are out of school, but a lot of people going back to work today.
Back to work today. Hope you had a great Easter yesterday. Got out with the fam and did some great things here at the park, or if you were lucky enough to get a restaurant reservation.
Yes, I'm very, very crowded, but it's good to see that everybody was able to, gather, and the weather worked out for the most part.
Yes, it was humid this weekend. Yesterday and even in the morning, there was a little bit of kind of some mist hanging around here, but, beautiful Easter celebrations. And then, of course, we had some of those thunderstorms that popped up yesterday afternoon. They were very few and far between, but boy, did they hit hard, and they were nasty, especially in Bandera and Medina counties. Right now, 71 degrees, and then notice the bottom number, dew points at 64. So we still have, you get above 60, still have some humidity out there. We have mostly cloudy skies right now. A lot of folks, though, are reporting, a lot of areas are reporting mostly clear skies. And then later on today, temperatures are going to make it up to 85 for a high. So we will be on the warm side. But the trick is, or the nice thing is, we are going to see some lower humidity come on in here. Actually, later on this morning, humidity is going to be dropping down because we've got those winds coming in out of the northeast. The aquifer dropped down 0.3 of a foot. And of course, we are in stage 2 water restrictions. Oak has been miserable this past week, 7,800 still on the high side, low amounts of everything else. Here's what it looks like going back 12 hours. And as this satellite picture loops on through, there's those big storms that popped up yesterday late afternoon and produced some reports, tennis ball close to baseball size hail in parts of Bandera County and then heading down into Medina County. Now we've got, like I said, some of these clouds. You can see this loops back on through here toward the end, that little shade of gray right there. That's some of the low clouds that are hanging around here right now, but they're going to be clearing out by later on this morning. So partly cloudy, again, depending on where you are, maybe a few more here and there. And it's on the humid side right now. Then mostly sunny, breezy, and we are going to get drier air moving on in here with these northeasterly winds. So it's going to be really, really comfortable later on today, which is kind of now a rarity as we're getting into later April. And of course, in the summertime, you don't see that drop in humidity. And the downside is it's not going to last for long because humidity is going to return during the day tomorrow. Maybe a couple of showers around here. And then rest of the week, we're going to lean toward the cloudier side. Sunshine in the afternoon. It's going to be warm and, going to be humid. As far as rain chances, a couple of small shots at rain. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Good morning, sir. Hope you had a good Easter weekend.
You too, Mike. Welcome back. And if you have to wake up right now and head out the door, well, you are in luck. You're going to have the roads to yourself and you'll encounter lots of pavement like here, 1604 at Pat Booker. Not really seeing a whole lot of folks out there this early in the morning, which is typical. We know a lot of folks are still sleeping in, but some do have to get out the door, maybe head home from an overnight shift, or maybe they're getting ready to grab a cup of coffee. But thankfully, nothing major that's going to cause any slowdowns on your early morning commute. So you can see a lot of light traffic in these shots, 35 and 37. And let's go ahead and get a look at the map, because although we are seeing lots of pavement on the screen, we are also seeing lots of green right here reflected on our map. Again, no slowdowns just yet. The morning is still young at 5:02, but keep in mind there are some closures. We're going to get to that a little bit later on in the newscast, but thankfully right now, if you have to travel into San Antonio, you won't encounter any delays just yet. 25 minutes if you're traveling in those eastbound lanes from Bernie to downtown San Antonio, 27 minutes for our friends up in Bulverde on 281 southbound, and 26 minutes on I-35 southbound coming in from New Braunfels to downtown San Antonio. One last look around town. Let's take that drive 35 north at Loop 410. There's I-10 at Kerrville West. Shot we don't really get usually, but you can see it is looking like a ghost town over there. We're going to continue to watch the roads closely, and again, have your phones handy. We do have some road closures to keep in mind. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Stephen. We are in critical need of blood donations. That's what the Southern Texas Blood and Tissue Center is saying about our local supply.
The universal blood type that's used in emergencies currently fluctuating. John Paul Barajas gives us a look at the need and what could happen if donations don't start to pick up.
In emergency situations, first responders give victims type O negative blood, the universal blood, because every second counts and they don't want to waste time checking a person's blood type. South Texas' supply of that blood is currently around a day to a half day's worth, which is critical and can cause other treatments to be delayed.
My aunt, who goes through dialysis, sometimes they have to postpone her appointments because, just the lack of availability.
It's just sad. I don't really have any other words. I know personally, I don't even know my blood type, so that might be part of the problem.
If donations don't improve, people in need of blood transfusions may be at the mercy of availability, according to Roger Ruiz with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. We need roughly 600 donations a day, and we're only getting about 350. He says schools being out for spring break, Fiesta Fun, and now the Easter holiday are slowing donations.
We had probably about a 4-day supply of overall blood types.
which is great. But the reason behind those 4 days is because we're getting help from other communities.
Ruiz explains before that outside help, we were dipping below a day's worth of blood overall. Now we can only ask for that help every so often without putting others in a bind. He adds, even with the current 4-day supply, ideally it should be 7 days worth.
Having less than a day is not where we want to be, and having less than a day and be half a day is something that is very scary.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And the good news, you can help. There are blood drives happening today and tomorrow. We have all that information on our website at ksat.com. Just look for the story.
Well, swift justice after a man's backpack with 3 Paralympic gold medals was stolen out of his car. Happened at the Rim Saturday night. Jen Lee's Tesla caught this suspect on camera. Then a tweet about the incident went viral. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus tweeted the Innovative Fusion Center was on the case. That's a center that consolidates resources from multiple agencies to investigate and respond to criminal activity.
No idea I was going to get I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 response and maybe some shares. And I had no idea this spark became like a wildfire.
Well, here's the best part. Not long after, another tweet from Chief McManus said the backpack and the medals were found. Great news. Right now, it's not clear if anyone's been arrested in connection with that vehicle burglary. This morning, a crucial battle for Ukraine's port city of Mariupol is as Russian forces call on Ukrainians to surrender.
Ukraine's prime minister vowing never to give up despite grueling war-torn conditions. President Zelensky warning what happens in Mariupol could influence the entire war.
ABC's M. Wynn has the latest.
The critical port city of Mariupol, besieged but not fallen. The Russian military says about 2,500 Ukrainian fighters are holed up inside this sprawling steel plant, the final pocket of the city's resistance. A Russian ultimatum for Ukrainians to surrender came and went Sunday, with Ukraine's prime minister saying they won't give up.
We will fight absolutely till the end, till the win in this war.
But Russia insists they're close to taking the war-torn city. Capturing it would be a strategic win, providing Russia with a crucial land bridge from Crimea to the eastern Donbass region, ahead of what is expected to be an intense wave of fighting for control of the region. Bodies lay out in the open as residents like this woman and her nieces try to flee. Their mother went to get diapers and disappeared. She's saying, "We don't know where she is." Ukrainian President Zelensky warning the battle for Mariupol may change the course of the war. He says thousands remain trapped without food and water, and the situation is not getting any better. As air raid sirens ring out across East Ukraine and firefighters in Kharkiv fight to extinguish flames from new Russian shelling, Zelensky has thanked President Biden for his latest pledge to send another $800 million to the region, but says more is needed. The U.S. has committed nearly $2.6 billion to Ukraine since the start of the war and is now considering sending an administration official to the capital, Kyiv.
We're making that decision now.
Emwin, ABC News, Washington.
The Invictus Games are underway in the Netherlands. It was founded by Prince Harry to aid wounded and sick service members and veterans. Prince paid tribute to members of the Ukrainian team who left their war-torn nation to compete, saying, quote, "We stand with you. The world is united with you," end quote.
And a special honor for those who contributed to the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics. China's Ice and Snow Night Gala was held in Beijing on Saturday. The event honored those who made outstanding contributions to the Games behind the scenes, including medical teams, food and catering service teams, volunteers, and engineers.
Back here at home, 508, about 71 degrees.
And still to come, a teen who disappeared from his family's home in California nearly 3 years ago has been found safe. You're not going to want to miss what his parents are saying this morning.
And new details about jobs in the wake of the pandemic. After the break, who's going back to work and who's staying home?
And taking a look outside with live cam, a little humid this morning. We're at 71 degrees, but we're expecting maybe a little break from the humidity. We'll be right back.
Millions of Americans who dropped out of the workforce during the pandemic may never go back. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. New research suggests about 3 million people don't want to return to work out of fears of illness or physical impairments.
And power bills could be going up across the country. Utilities from coast to coast are expected to invest $140 billion a year over the next couple of years to upgrade aging grids. And that's the most in at least 20 years.
512, about 70 degrees.
And after the break, a group of Tesla stockholders asking a judge to silence Elon Musk in a fraud case. That's next in your Morning Tech Bites.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. We go through a lot every day and lose ceramides my barrier needs to seal in moisture. Cerave facial moisturizers, developed with dermatologists, continuously deliver 3 essential ceramides to help restore my protective barrier so I can lock in moisture. With Cerave, we can feel hydrated and look healthy all day. Cerave facial moisturizing lotions from the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
I recommend Nature-Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
With so many fresh flavors delivered to your door, you won't be able to choose a favorite. Well, maybe you will.
In today's Tech Bites, Elon Musk versus Tesla shareholders. As billionaire Elon Musk fights to take over Twitter, he's now in a legal battle against his own shareholders at Tesla. They've now asked a judge to force Musk to stop commenting about their case, which stems from his tweets back in 2018 about taking Tesla private. The shareholders are suing for alleged securities fraud. You can now pay for a movie and popcorn with the cryptocurrency Dogecoin. AMC Theaters will accept the payment through the company's mobile app. It uses BitPay, which connects to your crypto wallet. And finally, a possible sign of the future in sports. Check out the jerseys worn by the University of Central Florida's football team during their spring game. Unique QR codes replace numbers on their backs. Fans can scan the codes to learn more about the players. Talk about a snap decision. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
We turn now to a remarkable story from Utah.
A teenager missing since 2019 has been found alive, and he was sitting outside a store. Police did not immediately know who he was.
ABC's Dion Lim has the story.
This morning, newly released body camera video shows the moment police officers near Park City, Utah, found a teenager from California who had been missing for nearly 2.5 years.
Morning.
19-year-old Connor Jack Oswald, who has autism, was sitting outside a store, cold and shivering. Police approached him for a wellness check, urging him to get in their car.
Want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
They say he was reluctant to communicate. Dispatchers then checked the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children database. Searching through 16 pages, they finally found his name and called his family.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
My sweetheart's wife. Oh my God.
Connor was reported missing in Clear Lake, California on September 29th, 2019. His last known sighting was in nearby Willows, California, about 1 week later. He was 16 at the time.
We've had a lot of false hope over the last 2.5 years. Honestly, I'm still dumbstruck by the whole situation.
His family says after his disappearance, they never saw or heard from Connor again, even giving up hope and checking morgues for their son. They say they have no idea where his journey has taken him over the last 30 months.
We're just grateful that he is safe, he's alive, and we have our son back. That's the most important thing ever for us.
They say Connor is now safe in a treatment facility. Dion Lim, ABC News, New York.
Unbelievable story.
How sad. I mean, happy, but very sad.
518, about 70 degrees.
Go ahead and check with Stephen Cavazos and see how the roads are looking this morning.
Well, I was going to say that we don't have a lot to talk about, but I just got a notification from our friends over at TransGuide. It does look like a crash may have come in off of 35 at San Marcos. We'll get a look at that in just a moment, but let's take a drive around town right now, see how things have been shaping up. 1604 at Pat Booker. It has been, again, a pretty quiet morning, so we haven't had a lot to to talk about, with the exception of that crash, which hopefully we'll get some more information on that in just a moment. But nothing immediate that's going to cause any trouble for your early morning drive. As you can see right here on our map, tons of green on the screen, so a great way to start on Monday morning. But as I mentioned, keep in mind, there's still some closures to be on the lookout for. This one happening off US 90 over on the west side of San Antonio. Bridge work will be taking place. Keep in mind that will start tomorrow, Tuesday, April 19th, and wrap up on Friday, April 22nd, which is kind of astonishing to say already, but that will be an overnight planned closure there, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. Keep in mind, there will be that full closure of the main lanes in both directions right there at Montgomery Road. So for you early bird commuters or you overnight commuters, something to make sure that you plan ahead for. And as I mentioned, grab those phones out. Now it's time to scan that handy dandy QR code. Scan this QR code. We're going to leave it up for a few seconds. Make sure to open your camera app. That will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and that will have the latest on closures that are taking place in your area. And a quick side note, I did do a story with TxDOT last week about the number of crashes that have occurred in work zones, over close to 3,000 last year. So it is pretty serious. Make sure that you are planning your commute, and of course, make sure to give those crews that are working to improve the roads a break.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Steve. And Mike, before we get to you, real quick programming note for fans of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The 6th and final season of Better Call Saul debuts tonight on AMC. So set your DVRs.
I never got up on that one.
You never got into Breaking Bad?
I haven't seen it either.
What?
I haven't seen that either.
I was late to the series, but man, it's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, you never got into Yellowstone, did you?
No, I've tried a couple times, but
There's still time.
Give it about 3 episodes. Anyway, and Ozark.
Yes. Ozark's always been great.
This coming weekend, I think.
Is that the last one? I haven't seen this season.
2 weeks, I believe, end of the month. Yeah.
It's wrapping up.
All right. Back to the topic at hand. Beautiful, beautiful moon out there. Great picture. It is now the waning gibbous moon, so just past full, and it's going to be right at the last quarter coming up this coming Saturday. Got a lot of clouds hanging around here this morning, and they're going to be clearing out rather nicely. A lot of folks are seeing clear skies as of right now. Clouds are very kind of limited in and around town, and then off to the east. We've got the wind, which is not anything big. I mean, most places it's just calm out there, but notice how it's coming in out of the northeast. That's pulling down some drier air. And so what that's going to do is take what is very humid right now and knock these dew point temperatures down. So when you get below 60 in the dew points, then it's much more comfortable. And that's going to be the situation throughout the day. We will be dropping even down into the about mid 50s, mid 40s in some areas. So it's going to be very comfortable. It's going to be kind of open up the windows sort of weather. That's going to be the situation tonight, a really pleasant evening, and starting off the day tomorrow. But then throughout the day tomorrow, the winds shift back around to the southeast and it pulls the humidity back in here. So this is just kind of a one-day enjoyment of the lower humidity, and it's going to stay pretty humid throughout the rest of the week. Temperatures, we will continue to drop down just a few degrees this morning, down to bottoming out right around 68 degrees at 7 o'clock, and then we work our way up into the mid 70s throughout the mid-morning hours. And this is going to be about the time 9-10 o'clock when that the much drier air really starts to work its way on in here. And of course, we're going to see a lot more sunshine as we approach noon, upper 70s, and then we top off at 85 later on today. A decent breeze out there, 10, 15, 20 mile per hour winds throughout the rest of today. Lots of clear skies, and that's going to be the case throughout much of the evening hours. And then tomorrow we start to see the clouds move back in here. A couple of showers are possible, not very likely. And then it's going to be a lot of clouds in the mornings and some sunshine in the afternoons as we go into Wednesday. And then Thursday is going to be the day, a slightly better chance, only about 20% as of right now, but a chance for a couple of showers around here during the day on Thursday. It doesn't look like a big deal right now. Maybe some early morning sprinkles here or there just because of all the humidity, especially maybe Friday morning and then going into Saturday morning as well. But again, the trend is going to be except for today, great looking day, we're going to have a lot of clouds, especially the first portions of the day, and then more sunshine or mixed sunshine in the afternoons, and it's going to be warm and humid this week. Again, after today, because today's going to be a great day. 78 degrees today at noon, mostly sunny skies. It is going to be on the breezy side with winds, again, about 10, 20 miles per hour out of the northeast, and then 85 for a high temperature today. Good looking day. Open up the windows, enjoy it, because it all changes then during the day tomorrow. We are going to have temperatures slightly cooler down to 80 and starting off in the upper 50s. That's just about a normal low temperature this time of year tomorrow morning, so it will be cool-ish. And then that changes. Then we stay about 70 and up around upper 80s and 90. So it is going to be warm and humid, plenty of clouds. A shower or two tomorrow, a few more on Thursday. Not great rain chances.
Not great rain chances.
Okay, well, we'll enjoy the coolish.
Yeah, a little break.
Today and tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. And again, good to have you back after being out all last week. Yep, Justin did a great job last week. 524, about 70 degrees.
And just ahead, big news for Grammy winner John Batiste. So we're learning about his acting debut.
I didn't have to walk into music as a profession because it was a part of the fabric of everyday life.
Grammy winner John Batiste is set to make his feature acting debut. He'll play charming, debonair piano man Grady in the big screen musical adaptation of The Color Purple, scheduled to arrive in theaters in December of 2023.
Across the multiverse, I've seen thousands of Evelyns.
But there's only one Michelle Yeoh. The star of Everything Everywhere All at Once is drawing raves from critics, audiences, and co-star Jamie Lee Curtis.
We all know that the only person in the world who could do this movie is Michelle Yeoh. But we all just watched her do it.
But
in real time.
But I couldn't have done it without you.
Okay, but that's fine. I understand. But
Stephanie and you.
Yes, everybody's great in the movie. I totally agree with you. The movie is you.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Folks, we have some late-breaking news right now coming into our newsroom, and you're getting your first look. This is live right now of a structure fire in the 4300 block of South Flores Street. The other things we can tell you right now, cross streets are Lorraine Avenue and West Hafer. The call came out around 4:45 this morning, and so far we can tell you that 15 fire units are currently on the scene. But also on the scene, we have a crew out there right now monitoring, trying to get us some more information.
And time now is 5:29 and 70 degrees for now.
We have a lot more heading your way in the next half hour, including new details on the fight to battle COVID, what people in Philadelphia are dealing with as of today.
Taking a look outside with live cam, we're starting at a humid 7 degrees. Mike is telling us we're going to get a little bit of break. We'll check in with him right now.
Great break today and into tomorrow morning. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, it is 5:30 on your Monday, April 18th.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. It was, nice, but it was humid.
It was, and then we had a round of storms move through. Not everybody got rain and not everybody got hail, and that's probably a good thing because a couple of these storms kicked out anywhere from quarter to baseball-sized hail, Mike. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, around Medina in Bandera County got hit probably the hardest as far as the size of hail. We had some reports of 2.5 inch diameter hail in right around Medina in Bandera County, and then in Medina County, some of those heavy storms went through there as well. Yeah, they were very, very localized. We did have severe thunderstorm warnings at one point, of course, in Bexar County for portions of it on the west side and the northwest side throughout the late afternoon, evening hours right around dinner time, and then also further down to the southwest into the evening hours. Yeah, but most everybody, of course, didn't see anything as far as any rain yesterday. So right now, on the heels of that, we've got a lot of humidity. Dew points are at 64, which means when you get above 60, you feel the humidity. 71 is the temperature. We are about anywhere from 10-15 degrees above normal right now. And around the metropolitan area, everybody's fairly consistent. Stinson's at 75, and we've got either partly to mostly cloudy skies around town right now, but a lot of outlying areas have clear skies. Oak has gone down significantly from last week, but it's still on the high side, and hopefully that season is over with if you are an Oak sufferer. 78 degrees today at noon. We're going to see more sunshine, and right around 10 o'clock this morning and just after the morning commute is when the drier air is really going to start to work its way in here. Wind is going to be out of the northeast about 10-20 miles per hour, 85 for a high temperature today. So it is going to be really comfortable, kind of breezy, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of a treat to start off the week, but don't get used to it because things are going to change. We'll talk about some small rain chances coming up later on this week. Details just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Cavazos, I see a bunch of lights out there.
Yeah, check this out, Mike. We do have a bunch of flashing lights out there, and we're starting starting to see a buildup there at 35 at San Marcos. This is a view from TransGuide. Now, if you were with us just a few minutes ago, our friends did notify us of a situation that was taking place out here. What we can tell you is that this is a crash that was picked up in the southbound lanes of I-35. Let's get a quick look at that scene that's developing right now. You can see at least 2 lanes of traffic are blocked off, and right now it does appear that some of the vehicles there are moving off into 1 lane. So you have to watch out in that direction because we are already starting to see a slight buildup taking place. Now, we have that picked up near Powell Street off of I-35 southbound near the downtown area, but you have to make sure that you move over and slow down whenever you see those flashing lights because first responders are working to clear up the scene. Hopefully the drivers are okay. Not sure how many vehicles were involved, but we are starting to see that buildup again taking place off I-35 southbound. Thankfully, elsewhere around the metro area, not spotting any other problems or slowdowns. And if you are traveling into San Antonio, no slowdowns here yet. 29 minutes on I-10 westbound, traveling in from Seguin to downtown SA. Right now, we are looking at 28 minutes on 87, traveling in those northbound lanes, and 28 minutes if you're traveling up from Floresville. So no problems, but we are seeing the problems starting to stretch here off I-35 at San Marcos. Again, this is in the southbound lanes of 35. We're going to watch it closely, but make sure that you do the same. Mark, Stephanie.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Happening right now, San Antonio police say 3 people tried to drive away and then run away from them. But in the end, they ended up exactly where they didn't want to be, in police custody. They are suspected of being involved in the shooting. Katrina Weber is live where it ended on Judson Road, not far from I-35. And Katrina, how did this all begin?
Well, Stephanie, good morning. Originally, police say they had a call about shots fired over on the east side. They went there, they found a car riddled with bullets, and police say as they were investigating, an SUV blew right past him. Well, that SUV is right here right now. This is where it ended up in the 12,600 block of Judson Road. These are the Oak Valley apartments, and police say this is where they did detain 3 people who were inside that SUV. Let me give you a better look at the video so you can see exactly how things were when police first approached that SUV. Now, they say that there were 3 people inside. Along the way, this was a 12-mile chase, by the way, from the place where this started with those shots fired till they reached these apartments. 12-mile chase. Police say along the way, someone threw some items out of the window. They did recover a gun between there and here. They also say they found a gun inside this SUV. 3 people who were inside, 2 men and a woman, tried to run away, but police did take all 3 into custody. Now, one of those people, the driver of this SUV, complained about some injuries. Police did have him taken to a hospital by ambulance. The other 2 were taken to jail and are being questioned. And again, police suspect that they may have had something to do with that shooting over on the east side because they did run from them. But all of that's still under investigation, and we should know more as they do complete that investigation. Reporting live on the northeast side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you. Other stories we're following this morning. The White House celebrating Easter Monday with its first egg roll since 2019. It's a sign of freedom from COVID-19 restrictions.
However, Philadelphians are seeing other signs today telling people they have to wear masks when visiting indoor public spaces.
As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, Philly isn't the only place still cautious about COVID.
Well, I support the mask mandate, if it's going to save lives.
Today, Philadelphia becomes the first major U.S. city to reinstate its mask requirement for indoor public spaces. That's despite a lawsuit filed Saturday by a group of business owners and residents who are trying to stop it.
When you go to a funeral, you see that people's hair, makeup is done. That is a stylist that does it. They are licensed cosmetologists, and one of the girls is actually considering doing that because she can't deal with the anxiety of dealing with customers yelling at us all the time.
The suit argues the city should base its rules on the same community COVID-19 level guidelines the CDC uses. Those are low in Philadelphia. Instead, the city has its own metrics for mask requirements.
Local officials do have a lot of local knowledge of where is it spreading, in which communities. They're using other types of data. So I have been really supportive of local local leaders making local decisions.
Today is also when the federal transportation mask mandate had been set to expire. Instead, the government is extending it until May 3rd. In New York, Broadway theaters say they're extending their mask requirements through at least next month. But in Washington, the White House is relaxing a bit today. It's hosting the first Easter egg roll since the pandemic began and saying this about vaccine mandates.
We are in a different position now, obviously, and so we really have to ask ourselves, what is the role of mandates moving forward?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Officials say 3 people have died from COVID in Shanghai, China. Those are the first reported deaths from the latest outbreak in the most populous and wealthiest city in China. Most of Shanghai's 25 million residents are being confined to their homes for a 3rd week as China continues to employ a zero-tolerance approach to eliminate the virus.
And in just a couple of hours, the Boston Marathon will get underway. 30,000 runners will take part in that marathon. They're coming from all 50 states and 122 countries. Many sharing that they're excited, saying it's a bucket list experience.
It feels amazing. I'm just very excited, and it's surreal. I can't believe that I'm actually here.
For some of those like me, it's our first chance to run Boston after 6 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
And look for more on this story coming up on Good Morning America beginning at 7.
Nobody has a great race, and of course security will be tight there in Boston along the route and at the finish line. 540, about 69 degrees on your Monday.
And it's tax day. Still to come, what you need to know if you waited until the last minute to file and what to do if you still need more time.
And after the break, a bizarre story out of New Jersey, why health officials are looking into a link between a high school and an outbreak of some deadly cancers.
And let's look outside with a live cam. Not too bad out there, but a little humid, 69 degrees. We'll be right back.
Health officials in the state of New Jersey investigating a possible alarming link between cases of brain cancer and a high school in Woodbridge, New Jersey. 105 former students and faculty members report being diagnosed with brain tumors going back decades, about half of them cancerous. Health experts warn it could be a coincidence. Environmentalists are now testing the ground for possible radiation.
Right now, it's just a list of names and ages and years graduated, so it's not scientific by any stretch, but it's alarming because there's just so many people with either a tumor, malignant or benign, and it's serious. We have to really take a look at it.
It would be a remarkable coincidence. The mayor says the school will remain open and appears safe. Results from the testing is expected in just about a month.
And time now is 5:43 and 69 degrees for now.
If you waited till the last minute to file your taxes, you're not alone. After the break, some things to keep in mind so you don't face any of those penalties from the feds. It's tax day 2022.
ABC's Rena Roy with what you need to know if you waited until the last minute to file and you still need more time, or you don't. You may have to pay that money, what you owe, to the IRS.
Today is tax day, and if you won't be submitting your tax return by midnight, you'll need to file for an extension.
They can actually file an extension online for free using IRS Free File through Form 4868.
This will give you until October 17th to get paperwork in.
But remember that an extension to file is not an extension to pay. The IRS expects you to pay your tax liability by the April 18th filing deadline.
If you owe money, you'll have to estimate your tax liability and make a payment. And if you can't pay right now, don't panic.
The taxpayer's financial situation is very, very complicated at this time. They don't have money to pay this. They should definitely contact the IRS and arrange for a payment plan so they can pay in installments.
You can do that a couple of different ways. Of course, you can pick up the phone and contact them, but we know contacting the IRS could be very challenging at this time. So another thing that you can do is actually create an online account and create your own payment arrangement.
If you filed already and you're expecting a refund,
it's typically going to take about 21 days if you file electronically to receive your refund. But of course, that's only if you filed electronically. If you did choose to file a paper tax return, it is going to take a couple of weeks, could be months before you receive your refund.
In addition to e-filing, submitting an error-free tax return and setting up direct deposit will get you your refund the quickest. Rena Roy, ABC News.
The Easter parade returned to New York City. The tradition dates back to the 1870s. Now it returned after being canceled for the past 2 years because of the pandemic. People wore festive costumes and some very creative Easter bonnets, strolled along Fifth Avenue to celebrate the holiday.
And visitors and locals in Bonn, Germany are enjoying cherry blossom season. Germany has lifted many of its COVID-19 restrictions, so this year For the first time since the pandemic began in 2020, there will be no limit on the number of visitors allowed in the city to enjoy the beautiful pink blossoms.
Beautiful. When I think cherry blossoms, I think Japan or Washington, D.C.
That's
Never
right.
thought of Bonn, Germany.
Exactly. I didn't think that. I think of Washington, D.C.
Spring has sprung. Let's check right now on the roads at 5:49.
Well, there you have an ugly situation here. Unfortunately, 35 at San Marcos. Traffic has just continued to build in this direction, Mark and Steph. As we take a look, we are looking at first responders working to clear a crash scene in those southbound lanes of 35. Now, vehicles are able to move off into just one lane of traffic, but you're going to have some, make sure you have some patience this morning because it is going to take a little bit of time to navigate through this. Now, let's get that wide look at the map. While we're not spotting any other problems around the metro area, let's go ahead and zoom in where we see that issue taking place off I-35 southbound right there near Powell Street. Again, just lots of red and orange that is building in those southbound lanes. If you need to travel onto 90 or 35 in those southbound lanes, quick detour, you can actually just get off South Florida Street and take that to hit 90, but make sure that you are prepared to hit some stoplights along the way. But other than that, no other problems to report just yet. The morning is still relatively young, but we know as we inch closer to 6 a.m. and especially morning rush hour, we will start to see more problems pop up. So just remember to drive safe. Guys?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Cherry
Stephen.
blossoms in D.C. a gift from Japan?
I believe they were, yes.
And is
I
it
recall.
cherry blossom season yet?
I believe they peaked early this year in D.C. along the tidal basin right by the Jefferson Memorial. But yes, I heard they peaked about maybe 2 weeks ago.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Here's speaking of beautiful shot from last night. This is great looking down there on the Riverwalk. Look at all the folks just enjoying it. It was a little bit on the humid side, but today is going to be a fantastic day to get down to the Riverwalk as well as this evening because we get kind of this time of year, it doesn't happen that often when we get a break from the humidity, and that's going to be the case later on today. Lots of clouds starting off, at least here in town, but parts of our area aren't seeing any clouds as of right now, and we're going to be dropping down into the upper 60s in the next couple of hours or so, and then the wind's going to start to pick up, and it's out of the northeast right now, and by about 9-10 o'clock, we'll start to see 10-15 mile per hour winds, and that's really going to pull in the drier air, and that's going to continue to be the case then throughout the rest of the morning. Noon, we get up to 78 degrees, and then we are going to be topping off right around 85 later on today. Again, 10, 15, maybe 20 mile per hour winds with low humidity, plenty of sunshine, blue skies out there. And this is what computer models are showing as well. We've got a couple of leftover clouds here this morning, plenty of sunshine then later on today. And tonight's going to be a nice evening. Tomorrow, a few clouds to start off in the morning hours. And then the humidity really starts to come back in here. So it's going to be pleasant tomorrow morning. We'll actually drop down to a normal low temperature, which is upper 50s right now. Then with the humidity coming back on in here, lots of clouds throughout the day. A couple of showers going to be possible tomorrow. Not very likely, but just one or two of them out there. And then we keep plenty of clouds around over the next couple of days. Low temperatures tomorrow, like I said, down close to normal. And then it's only going to last for one day because the low temperatures throughout the rest of the week are going to be up around 70, and that's a good indication of a lot more humidity. And then high temperatures the next few days. We are going to be, well, tomorrow is going to be relatively cool, if you will, down around 80, and then it's back to the mid upper 80s and 90s all the way through the weekend. So we are going to be definitely on the warm side of things. Again, on top of that, with more humidity out there. So here's what's going on with the upper level steering winds. That high is pretty much in control as of right now, and most all of the activity is well up there in the northern tier of the United States. Any of the little bit of roller coaster action in the upper level steering winds, any big storm systems, any big rainmakers. As we go on in toward Thursday, there will be a couple little glitches that kind of slide through here, little impulses. That may give us another chance for some rain on Thursday. But other than that, we're not looking at any decent chances of rain other than a couple of showers tomorrow. And then again, like I said, on Thursday. 78 degrees today at noon. Mostly sunny skies, breezy, good looking day. Just really, really pleasant out there with that lower humidity. And then 85 for a high temperature. And again, breezy, but you can open up the windows today. Tonight's going to be very pleasant. Tomorrow, nice, coolish start, about normal. We get up to 80 in the afternoon, but the clouds are definitely going to increase throughout the day. A couple of sprinkly showers are going to be possible. And then look at the difference from 58 tomorrow morning to 68 on Wednesday morning. A lot more humidity out there. not in here, hopefully, and high temperatures getting up in the upper 80s and low 90s all the way through the weekend. A few more showers, 1 or 2 of them on Thursday.
All right, thank you, Mike. 5:53, about 69 degrees.
Look back outside with TransGuide looking at the problems there at I-35 at San Marcos. We'll be checking in with Stephen Cavazos again very soon.
Let's breeze through your lottery numbers real quick. Pick 3, 842, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 5736, Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 13, 14, 17, 21, 32. Lotto Texas 4, 8, 27, 32, 33, 48. And your Powerball numbers 15, 21, 32, 62, 65. Powerball 26, Power Play 5. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, some breaking news in the war in Ukraine. Multiple airstrikes on Ukraine's city of Lviv as Russia delivers an ultimatum for the key port city of Mariupol. We are live in the region this morning. And Colin Kaepernick is speaking out overnight as you've never heard him before. Also, some last-minute tax tips, the deadline just hours away. And buckle up, I'm taking you on an electric vehicle spring break road trip, talking about the challenges and benefits of EVs right now. That and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
Heading to the next hour, GMSA, people from all races die from breast cancer. But why are minorities dying from it at a higher rate? We'll hear from some experts. Plus, we'll have the latest on an overnight argument that escalated and sent a father and son to the hospital. And San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers are asking for your help to solve a robbery at a Northeast Side auto parts store. We'll have those details for you. That's coming up.
This morning, a father and son in the hospital after a stabbing incident on the city's east side. We're going to tell you what we know so far.
A violent weekend. We'll have the very latest on a string of shootings across our country.
And taking a look outside with live cam, starting a little humid, but not too bad at 69 degrees, and looking forward to some sunshine today.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. Hope you had an awesome Easter weekend. It is Monday, the 18th.
Thanks for joining us. It was nice for the most part, a little humid, but nice for Easter.
We did have some storms around late in the afternoon and early evening. Some of them did go severe, but all that's gone this morning, right, Mike?
Yeah, everything's moved on out of here. As a matter of fact, it is starting to get a little less humid, even compared to when we first got into work this morning.
That's good.
Yeah, dew points are dropping down, and this is one of those where, you know, we don't see these kind of days too much as we get in toward the late spring and summer. We still have a few clouds hanging around here, as you can see off in the distance. Temperature is at 70, but we got mid and even lower 60s up to the north and northwest. Comfort at 63, 65 Bulverde, and Bernie Stage at 64. And then look at the dew point temperatures. Now, a couple of hours ago, we were at 68 degrees, so it was really muggy when you step outside, and that's still the situation well down around Pleasanton. But look at that, already dropped below 60. Bulverde, Bernie Stage up into the hill country, and that's thanks to these northeasterly winds, which will continue to pull in drier air, get rid of the humidity, and make for a fantastic day. We should get rid of some of this oak. It is still on the high side, lower than what it was last week, because last week was miserable if you're an oak sufferer, but we're still at 7,800, low amounts of everything else. And throughout the rest of the morning, we'll drop down a couple of more degrees. Again, northeasterly wind continues to pull in the drier air, and then going to be a beautiful day today. Open up the windows with low humidity out there. We'll make it up to 78 degrees today at noon. Plenty of sunshine and blue skies. And then we top off with a high temperature up to 85. Yes, enjoy today. This evening is going to be really nice, and starting off tomorrow. And then that's going to be it. So this is not going to be a long-lived dry air, low humidity event, if you will, because the humidity comes back the rest of the week, as well as some pretty warm temperatures, maybe some rain. Don't get really excited about that. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Still got all the lights out there?
Well, unfortunately, this has been the event of the morning so far, Mike. 35 at Powell. We now have a different view from our friends over at TransGuide. This actually shows where that crash occurred, and you can see that it does look like we do have a towing truck out there, so hopefully we'll be catching the tail end of this. But we know that some drivers that have to travel in those southbound lanes will encounter a slowdown. So be prepared and pack that patience this morning. Let's go ahead and start here with the map. I-35 southbound at Powell Street. Thankfully, this stretch of red and orange and yellow has just stayed consistent throughout the morning, meaning that we haven't seen that traffic continue to build. It's just stayed steady. So that means there is a slight slowdown in those southbound lanes. But if you need to rush out the door, obviously we want you to be careful travel and plan ahead. Something that looks a little better than 35. If you are traveling I-10 eastbound, just get on to 35 north. You'll hit 37 south, and that way if you need to travel a little bit further down, you won't have any trouble getting through there. But again, this is just one of the alternate routes we're going to continue to watch for. Hopefully that crash will clear out as the morning does roll on. 6:03, view of the metro area doesn't show slowdowns or problems elsewhere. Thankfully, Monday has started off with very limited issues. And if you have to travel into San Antonio, 27 minutes. If you're traveling in 37 in those northbound lanes from 37, 19 minutes on Highway 90 eastbound and 17 minutes traveling in from 35 northbound in Lytle. So again, problem here at 35 at Powell. Hopefully the next time we talk to you, we'll see the tail end of this crash, but we'll have to watch it closely and give you those updates coming up a little bit later. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Right now, I want to take you back out live to that late breaking news. We've been tracking this fire now for about an hour or so. This is all happening in the 4300 block of South Forest. Cross streets are Lorraine and West Hayford. The call came in around 4:45 this morning. We know it is a structure fire. 16 units on the scene. Again, looking live, looks like the fire is now for the most part out, but we do have a crew there monitoring the situation, and we are waiting to get more information from the San Antonio Fire Department. We'll get it to you when we have it. A 12-mile-long chase has led straight to jail for 3 people. San Antonio police caught up with them at an apartment complex on the northeast side, Judson Road near I-35.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, we understand that chase started after a shooting on the east side of town.
Well, that's right. It was a shooting where police found a vehicle riddled with bullet holes, as they described it. But so far, they haven't found anyone who was shot. Now, what they did find was an SUV that blew right past him. And that's this SUV you see here on the back of this tow truck. Police about to take this away as evidence. They also have 3 people who they took into custody who were inside that vehicle, as well as 2 guns, according to police. Let me give you a look at the scene that they originally were called to, though. This was near Seguin Street and Calhoun over on the east side. Police say, again, they got a call about shots fired. They got there. They found a car just riddled with bullet holes. They say anyone inside that car had to have been hit because those bullet holes went through and through that car. So far, they haven't found that person. But again, while they were at that scene, an SUV rolled right past them. Police started chasing that vehicle, tried to stop it, and did not do so until 12 miles away inside this apartment complex at these are the Oak Valley apartments on Judson Road. Police had to do a maneuver where they actually bumped that car and stopped it. 3 people inside, they say, tried to run away, but they chased them down and did take them into custody. The driver of the SUV had to go to the hospital with what police say were unknown injuries. The other 2 went to jail, another man and woman. And police say they're still trying to sort out what charges they will face. Again, they have not exactly linked them to the shooting, but they say they did run from that scene and they did recover 2 guns along the way. Reporting live on the northeast side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning, the search is on for a teenage girl who police say stabbed her boyfriend and his father. This happened around 10 last night on Caton Avenue near I-10 and Rigsby. Police say it all started with an argument that escalated, and both the father and son were taken to the hospital. The father is currently in critical condition.
Some other top stories this morning. We're learning more about a string of mass shootings over the weekend here in the U.S. One turning deadly at a house rented on Airbnb. Another at a busy shopping mall, sending people running for the exits. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
A violent Easter weekend across the U.S. included separate mass shootings at a mall, an Airbnb, and a nightclub. In Pittsburgh, there's an urgent manhunt for the gunman who opened fire at this party. Video shows panic inside the Airbnb rental home where at least 90 shots were fired. 2 people were killed, 11 injured.
This goes back to having too many guns, too many illegal guns on the streets.
In South Carolina, authorities are investigating 2 mass shootings. Gunfire broke out at a nightclub in Hampton County early Sunday when the owner says someone fired up to 30 shots.
We was just in the club having a good time, and shots just let out.
I think it's what somebody had planned because they shot from the back.
From the back of the club. From the back of the club.
9 people were wounded. Police have not released details on a suspect or motive. Also this weekend, chaos erupting at this mall in Columbia, South Carolina. Police believe an ongoing fight between multiple people led to the gunfire. A judge has already granted bond to the only person arrested in that shooting so far. If Jawayne Price posts the $25,000 bond, he'll be on house arrest, but will be allowed to travel to work while wearing an ankle monitor. Price's lawyer saying it was unprovoked by him. He called the police, turned himself in, turned over the firearm that was used. That is why he got a $25,000 bond. Mass shootings, when 4 or more people are shot in a single incident, are up 66% in the U.S. in the last 2 years. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And the Ever Forward has been stuck in the Chesapeake Bay since March 13th when it became grounded, leaving Baltimore. The Coast Guard, Maryland Department of the Environment, and Evergreen Marine Corporation have partnered with multiple state and local responders to free the ship. Crews dug out at least 84,000 cubic yards of mud from around the vessel. That's about 27 barges worth of mud. The U.S. Coast Guard coordinating agencies also removed around 500 containers of its nearly 5,000 container load.
Today, Philadelphia becomes the first major U.S. city to reinstate its mask requirement for indoor public spaces. That's despite a lawsuit filed Saturday by a group of business owners and residents who are trying to stop it. The suit argues the city should base its rules on the same community COVID-19 level guidelines the CDC uses. However, those are low in Philadelphia. Instead, the city has its own metrics for mask requirements.
You know, local officials do have a lot of local knowledge of where is it spreading, in which communities. They're using other types of data. So I have been really supportive of local local leaders making local decisions.
And today is the day when the federal transportation mask mandate had been set to expire. The government recently extended it until May 3rd.
And back here at home, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center saying that we are in critical need of donations. They say we're fluctuating between less than a day and a day's worth of the universal blood used at emergency scenes.
Somebody who's needing a blood transfusion for a cancer treatment or for a blood disorder, that they may have to wait because we have to make sure we have enough blood in an emergency.
And right now on our website, we have more about the current blood shortage, and we also have more information about where you can donate. So just look for this story on our website at KSAT.com.
In your morning consumer headlines, power bills could be going up across the country, even with federal funding. Utilities from coast to coast are expected to invest $140 billion a year over the next couple of years to upgrade aging grids. That's the most investment in at least 20 years.
As billionaire Elon Musk fights to take over Twitter, he's now in a legal battle against his own shareholders at Tesla. They have now asked a judge to force Musk to stop commenting about their case, which stems from his tweets back in 2018 about taking Tesla private. The shareholders are suing for alleged securities fraud.
611, about 69 degrees.
And today is tax day. If you still need to file, you are not the only one. Coming up a little later on GMSA, what to do if you need more time to file.
Yeah, there are way more of you than we thought. And just ahead, the latest on the war in Eastern Europe. Ukraine says that the besieged city of Mariupol has not yet fallen despite Russian demands that Ukrainian forces surrender or die.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we started off humid this morning, but Mike says it's slightly less humid right now. Good news. We'll be right back. And welcome back at 6:15 this morning. A crucial battle for Ukraine's port city of Mariupol as Russian forces call on Ukrainians to surrender.
Ukraine's prime minister vowing never to give up despite grueling war-torn conditions. President Zelensky warns what happens in Mariupol could influence the entire war.
ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest.
The critical port city of Mariupol, besieged but not fallen. The Russian military says about 2,500 Ukrainian fighters are holed up inside this sprawling steel plant, the final pocket of the city's resistance. A Russian ultimatum for Ukrainians to surrender came and went Sunday, with Ukraine's prime minister saying they won't give up.
We will fight absolutely till the end, till the win in this war.
But Russia insists they're close to taking the war-torn city. Capturing it would be a strategic win, providing Russia with a crucial land bridge from Crimea to the eastern Donbass region, ahead of what is expected to be an intense wave of fighting for control of the region. Bodies lay out in the open as residents like this woman and her nieces try to flee. Their mother went to get diapers and disappeared. She's saying, "We don't know where she is." Ukrainian President Zelensky warning the battle for Mariupol may change the course of the war. He says thousands remain trapped without food and water, and the situation is not getting any better. As air raid sirens ring out across East Ukraine and firefighters in Kharkiv fight to extinguish flames from new Russian shelling, Zelensky has thanked President Biden for his latest pledge to send another $800 million to the region, but says more is needed. The U.S. has committed nearly $2.6 billion to Ukraine since the start of the war and is now considering sending an administration official to the capital, Kyiv.
We're making that decision now.
Emwin, ABC News, Washington.
All right, let's get a look here. 35 at Powell. Now, we have not seen the situation get any better, but thankfully, we've not really seen it get worse. What we are taking a look at is a crash here in the southbound lanes of I-35, and you can see that first responders are there on the scene working to clear this crash that came in probably about an hour or so ago. Let's go ahead and show you the map, because where we are seeing that build up, again, southbound lanes right there at Powell Street. You can see that traffic is backed up to Guadalupe there, but again, it's pretty much stayed consistent. We haven't continued to see it stretch, so hopefully people are avoiding this area and are looking for those alternative routes, and we are doing the same. There's several different places you can take. We told you about exiting a little bit earlier on South Floridas, or perhaps taking a detour onto 37, but make sure that you plan ahead if you need to head out the door a little bit sooner rather than later. And check those vehicles. As a friendly reminder, we do have a stall here off Loop 410 and I-35. As we get that wide look at the map, 618, we're not really seeing any other issues to report just yet, but as we inch closer and closer to that morning rush hour, things will change. So make sure that you plan ahead and plan that commute. As we mentioned, State Highway 151 over on the west side of San Antonio, there will be some pipe work that will thankfully be wrapping today. Drivers, keep in mind this will start at 9 in the morning and, according to TxDOT, finish around 3 this afternoon. What you can expect over there, an alternating westbound main lane closure right there at Loop 410. And as a reminder, grab those phones out. We'll leave this up for a few seconds. That's that QR code. This will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and that will not just have the latest closures that are taking place in your area, but also the latest updates in terms of anything that could cause delays for your early morning drive. And our Twitter page, we've been tweeting a storm this morning about this situation here off 35. So just remember to drive safe, and again, scan that QR code. Pretty handy tool.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Well, it was a week, but it felt like the month. Mike Ostrich back, rested and recharged.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Sure. And it's good to be back today, because we've got some low humidity, which is going to be moving on in here after a somewhat humid Easter Sunday. And even, if you're out early on in the morning, there's a little bit of mist and drizzle around. Then, of course, we had a few of those thunderstorms that popped up just to the west of town yesterday afternoon. And there were some nasty ones, very localized, but anywhere from tennis ball to baseball size hail in parts of Bandera as well as Medina counties. All that's out of the picture right now. We just have a few clouds hanging around here. 68 degrees later on this morning, partly cloudy skies, and then 85 for a high temperature. It is going to be breezy. The drier air is already starting to move on in here, and it's going to be much more pleasant later on today thanks to those northeasterly winds out there. It's a really cool picture. The Easter moon with those leaves and branches in front of it. Really neat looking shot there. Thank you very much for that. It is a waning gibbous moon right now, so we're just past full moon phase and continue on toward the, first or the last quarter is going to be this coming Saturday, by the way. So we're not seeing any glow of the sunrise yet. Maybe a couple of breaks in the clouds. Could that be Venus up there? Perhaps. Dew point temperatures have dropped down even compared to yesterday by about, anywhere from 5-10 degrees or so. 14 degrees drier air or lower dew points, I should say. Much drier air up there in Fredericksburg, and we will continue to see dry air moving on in here throughout the rest of the morning. Again, we drop down to 68 degrees just as the sun is going to be coming up, and we'll still have a few clouds hanging around here and there, and then get up in the low to mid 70s throughout the rest of the morning. 78 degrees at noon, and then go in up in the 80s to start off the afternoon hours, and by about 4 or 5 o'clock, we're going to make it up to 85 degrees. Wind out of the northeast at about east northeast about 10, 15, close to 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be, like I said, on the breezy side. Nothing but really sunshine out there today. 1 or 2 clouds around perhaps tonight, and then we start off tomorrow with clearer skies. We'll have a few clouds here and there. Still, it's going to be pleasant tomorrow. It's going to be cooler tomorrow. We'll be in the upper 50s, which is closer to a normal low temperature. Then the clouds move on in here, and the humidity is going to be coming on in, and there will be 1 or 2 showers around the area. Really wouldn't get too excited about rain tomorrow. Just, again, few and far between at best. What break we get in the humidity today, that's not going to last long at all, because by tomorrow afternoon, humidity comes back in here. Definitely moving back in throughout the rest of the week, and that's going to help to hold low temperatures much milder. So after a coolish start tomorrow morning, we're going to be much warmer for low temperatures the rest of the week. Going back 12 hours, as this loops on through, there's those big thunderstorms that developed right around Bandera County and moved down through Medina County and down to the south yesterday. And like I said, anywhere from tennis ball to baseball size hail in parts of Bandera County. And yeah, while we're talking about at least a break from the humidity and warm temperatures, snow up around the Great Lakes. And if you got any travel plans off to the east, and you know how that can have kind of a domino effect elsewhere, huge storms well off there to the east of us, but upstream, not much going on. Very tranquil weather pattern that we're going to be getting into, with warmer temperatures and more humidity the rest of the week, but not great rain chances at all. 78 degrees today at noon, mostly sunny, breezy, nice day. Open up the windows today, and then a high temperature up to 85. Again, mostly sunny, and again, kind of breezy. Pleasant tonight, tomorrow morning starting off. Humidity comes back in here. 1 or 2 showers are possible tomorrow, and then notice the big difference. 58 tomorrow, 68 Wednesday morning, as that humidity doesn't let the low temperatures drop down as low. You know, could be some mist in the mornings starting Wednesday morning, perhaps, you know, a little bit here or there. Slightly better chance for a few showers on Thursday, and it's just going to stay warm and humid. A lot of clouds in the morning, a bit more sunshine in the afternoons all the way through the weekend.
We kind of like the idea of opening the windows up a little bit today, if the oak pollen has not been bothering you, and if you don't mind dusting the tables later on.
Yeah.
It was killing me
last week was pretty brutal.
Yeah, Justin had a graphic last week. This is typically, it looks like the historical peak of the oak pollen season right about now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, hopefully we're on the downhill side.
Still got all that yellow stuff in the yard, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On our cars.
On our cars, all the cars. 623 right now, about 69 degrees.
And coming up later this morning on GMSA at 9, Joint Base San Antonio and the 502nd Air Base Wing are getting ready for the Great Texas Air Show taking place this weekend.
That's right. Can't wait out there at Randolph. Max Massey will be speaking with the air show's director about what you can expect to see at the show and what they're hoping guests will leave the show with.
That's today on GMSA at 9. We'll be right back. In this morning's GMA First Look, a pilot who survived a plane crash has been reunited with a police officer who pulled him to safety. That's coming up at 7 a.m. right here on KSAT.
626, about 69 degrees.
And we have much more to come in our next half hour of GMSA, including the latest on a possible link between brain cancer and a New Jersey high school. We're going to explain.
We'll have details on that wild story out of Utah. A teenager's been missing for several years, found alive in the cold right outside that convenience store.
And a look outside with TransGuide this morning. A lot of problems there at I-35 at San Marcos. We will be checking in with Stephen Cavazos very soon. The search continues this morning for the people involved in an auto store robbery on the city's northeast side. We're going to have those details.
Let's go outside with live cam. A whole bunch of you are up now, and the sun is trying to come up after an Easter weekend. Some of you were off for the long holiday weekend. We did have some storms around last night. Mike will talk to us about the upcoming forecast. It includes a special treat for today and tonight. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, April 18th.
Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I hope you had a great Easter weekend. And some of the kiddos have school off today, but some of them are back at it.
Some are back today. Mike Osterhage is back after being off all last week. We missed you.
If by chance you have today off, you picked a good one. Because, even yesterday was a lot of humidity out there, and we started off with more humidity even this morning, and starting to dry out now. And as you can see, the clouds are starting to kind of thin out. We still have a few left over here in town, but we should have a decent sunrise, I think. We've got some breaks in the clouds here and there. 70 degrees right now. That number, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, the dew point, was in the upper 60s and close to 70 about 3 hours ago when I came into work. And now it has continued to drop down because the wind has shifted around out of the northeast. And that's what's continuing to pull in this drier air. So nothing is really cool out there this morning, but these dew point temperatures, look at that, 59 Bulverde, 55 at Bernie Stage. So this is much drier air, and that's what's going to be moving on in here throughout the course of the morning as well as the course of the day. And wind is out of the northeast, 5-10 miles per hour. Not that breezy right now, but it is going to get breezier throughout the rest of the afternoon. Oak. Yes, it is lower than what it was last week. It is still definitely on the high side at 7,800. Everything else is low. So we'll have partly cloudy skies this morning, and the humidity, what's left over, is going to continue to go away. And then we have mostly sunny skies, breezy today. Again, that drier air. So open up the windows today. It's kind of a little treat because we usually don't get these dry days too often as we get into the later spring and summertime, obviously. It's not going to last all that long. Tomorrow morning is going to be nice, but then the humidity comes back in here. Cloudy skies, couple of showers are possible. Wouldn't get really excited about rain. Plenty of clouds the rest of the week, and it's going to be on the warm side. It's going to be on the humid side, and again, maybe another couple of showers perhaps by Thursday, but again, nothing to get really excited about as far as rain. We'll take a look ahead to the weekend in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Cavazos, it is a mess out there still,
yeah,
right?
Our eyes have been on 35 at San Marcos throughout the entire morning, Mike, and we are getting a look now at a few lanes that look like they're opening up. Earlier, there was at least 2 lanes of traffic that were blocked there, and what we're seeing from this view at TransGuide, some of those first responders are still out there. So we want to remind drivers, stay alert if you are traveling in those southbound lanes. It is not looking pretty out there from this TransGuide shot. Then the map not looking any better. Where we are seeing that buildup is in the southbound lanes right there at Powell Street, where that crash was reported probably about a little over an hour ago. So we have been looking at detours throughout the entire morning. Let's go ahead and show you the latest one that we found here. Take exit 156. That is West Houston Street. It'll be easier to get on 37 for anybody that may be traveling in those southbound lanes. Again, it may take you a little bit longer, but at least you won't be stuck in any of that traffic that's been building in the southbound lanes of 35. So it is looking a little bit better out there, but we do want to remind you to check those vehicles because there is still a stall reported out 410 eastbound at I-35 over on the northeast side. But other than that, let's go ahead and get that view, bird's eye view of the metro area. Lots of green. So we're still in some good shape here for any of the drivers that need to head out this early in the morning. And if you are traveling to the Alamo City, good news, no delays just yet. But for our friends and neighbors up in Bulverde, 29 minutes to the downtown area. So pack that patience with a cup of coffee, but we're going to continue to watch this crash here off 35 at San Marcos. Hopefully by the time morning rush really kicks into high gear, we'll see the end of this. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. And we want to get you back to that late breaking news. It's a fire just south of downtown.
We've been tracking this with looking in live shots now for about an hour now, hearing that fire is deadly. Photojournalist Tim Stewart is there now, and he joins us live. Tim, what's the update?
As of right now, that's all we know, Mark, is that 2 people perished in this fire. It's one of the more unusual structure fires I've ever covered. If you look right here, this is a business, what appears to be, might have been a beauty shop, barber shop, something like that. Attached is a home in the back. And whenever firefighters got here, the chief told me that the house, the entire roof was on fire. So immediately they had to back off and start fighting the fire from the outside. He said it wasn't until they got a better control on this very stubborn fire that started about 4:45 this morning that they were able to go in and get a proper search. That's when they found the 2 victims. At this point, they don't have any idea how the fire started. They've got fire investigators here. They've got arson investigators on the way. And it's just a very unfortunate incident. And if you guys have any questions, I can try and answer them for you.
Tim, I think that pretty much covers it. All right, Tim Stewart live out at the scene. Thank you so much, Tim. Look for more on this story coming up in our later newscast and online at KSAT.com.
And this morning, the search is on for 2 people involved in an aggravated assault at an auto parts store on the northeast side. This happened on April 1st at an AutoZone on Parambottle Road. Police say employees were closing the store for the night when a man and woman got there. The man was then let inside by an employee as the woman waited outside. The man made a purchase and left the store as the woman outside started to photograph some of the employee vehicles. When employees asked what she was doing, the man pulled out a gun. Now, if you know anything about these suspects, you are asked to call that number on your screen, which is 210-224-STOP.
We turn now to a remarkable story from Utah. A teenager missing since 2019 has been found alive. He was sitting just outside a store. Police did not immediately know who he was. ABC's Dion Lim has the story.
This morning, newly released body camera video shows the moment police officers near Park City, Utah, found a teenager from California who had been missing for nearly 2.5 years.
Morning.
19-year-old Connor Jack Oswald, who has autism, was sitting outside a store, cold and shivering. Police approached him for a wellness check, urging him to get in their car.
Want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
They say he was reluctant to communicate. Dispatchers then checked the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children database. Searching through 16 pages, they finally found his name and called his family.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
My sweetheart's wife. Oh my God.
Connor was reported missing in Clear Lake, California on September 29th, 2019. His last known sighting was in nearby Willows, California. About 1 week later, he was 16 at the time.
We've had a lot of false hope over the last 2.5 years. Honestly, I'm still dumbstruck by the whole situation.
His family says after his disappearance, they never saw or heard from Connor again, even giving up hope and checking morgues for their son. They say they have no idea where his journey has taken him over the last 30 months.
We're just grateful that he is safe, he's alive, and we have our son back. That's the most important thing ever for us.
They say Connor is now safe in a treatment facility. Dion Lim, ABC News, New York.
Health officials in New Jersey are investigating a possible alarming link between cases of brain cancer and a high school in Woodbridge. 105 former students and faculty members report being diagnosed with brain tumors going back decades, about half of them cancerous. Health experts warn it could be a coincidence. Environmentalists are now testing the ground for radiation.
Right now, it's just a list of names and ages and years graduated, so it's not scientific by any stretch, but it's alarming because there's just so many people with either a tumor, malignant or benign, and it's serious. We have to really take a look at it.
The mayor there says the school will remain open and appears safe. Results from the testing is expected in about a month.
Well, back here at home, good news this morning after a man's backpack with 3 Paralympic gold medals was stolen out of his car by suspected smash and grab burglar at the Rim Shopping Center Saturday night. Those medals have been recovered.
And luckily, Jen Lee's Tesla caught the man on camera. Lee tweeted about what happened, and it was viewed hundreds of thousands of times.
No idea I was going to get, I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 response and maybe some shares. And I had no idea this spark became like a wildfire.
Well, in less than 24 hours, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus tweeted the Fusion Center was on the case. That's a place that consolidates multiple sources from agencies to investigate and respond to criminal activity. Long afterwards, another tweet by the chief said the backpack and all the medals were found.
Right now, it's not clear if anyone has been arrested in connection with the burglary. Lee says he will not be able to breathe a sigh of relief until the medals are in hand, and that should be happening today.
Well, just a reminder, remember, we're just the messengers here. Today is the tax deadline. This year, filers will have to factor in the child tax credit, that third stimulus check, and new rules about reporting income from cryptocurrency stuff. But if you need more time, don't worry. You can request an extension until October 17th, according to the IRS. If you're still waiting for the IRS to process your 2020 taxes, Just know you can still file last year's. We have more information online at KSAT.com. Just wanted you to know about the crypto because I know you're big into that.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I like that. We're just the messengers.
We are. 6:40 right now, 68 degrees.
And people of all races die from breast cancer. But why are minorities dying from it at a higher rate? That's ahead on GMSA and still ahead on GMSA. And welcome back at 6:44. Breast cancer strikes women and men of all ages and races. White women are slightly more likely to get breast cancer. However, black women are 40% more likely to die from the disease.
While researchers aren't exactly sure why there is such a striking disparity, some say it could be that fewer minorities are aware of their hereditary breast cancer risks and only a very small percentage undergo genetic testing.
Sarah Costa has some steps women of color should consider to lower their risk and save lives.
Neonatal intensive care nurse Kimyata Frazier feels empowered in her job, helping preemies get healthy.
I take care of them from the time they are born until the time they go home with their families.
But in her personal life, Frazier could do very little as she watched one relative after another battle breast cancer.
My mother just passed away from breast cancer. Her sister is currently dealing with stage 4 triple negative breast cancer. She lost her older sister to breast cancer, and my grandmother, her mother, also had breast cancer.
3 aunts on her father's side all had breast cancer.
It's in multiple generations. There's a lot of affected people.
With genetic testing, technicians take a person's blood or saliva and look for mutations. With testing, patients like Frazier can take preventative measures if they test positive for a gene mutation.
We may want to screen your breasts more frequently. We may want to do a colonoscopy earlier than you would have needed.
A very low percentage of black women pursue genetic testing, in part because of common misconceptions.
One is that, this is specialty medicine and you have to be sort of, rich or famous to get this testing. Not true at all.
Most insurance now covers genetic testing. Over the past decade, the cost of the testing has dropped to about $250 and sometimes as little as $100. Despite her strong family history, none of Frazier's doctors recommended genetic testing until she asked about it.
It's not painful. It's nothing bad. It can very well save your life or extend your life.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
All right, morning rush here at 6:46. We still have this problem off 35 southbound at Powell Street. It has been the problem of this Monday morning. So for drivers that are heading in those southbound lanes of 35, make sure to move over or slow down. But thankfully from this view at TransGuide, hopefully we'll be seeing the end of this pretty soon. But it has been quite a while. So make sure to watch for first responders. That buildup taking place in the southbound lanes. Again, quick reminder, if you are traveling southbound, you will encounter some delays at this hour. But we have been looking at some detours. Exit here that you could take is 156. That'll take you to West Houston Street. You can get on a 37 and head southbound that way. May take you a little bit longer, but it beats sitting in that traffic for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and watch that area closely, but we'll also watch out because there was a stall that popped up off of I-10 eastbound at Probant. Looks like it's not on our map, but we're going to keep our eyes on the road. And of course, as always, make sure that you do the same that is. But for the latest on the forecast, let's check in with Mike Osterhage.
Thank you, sir. All right, when was the last time you just laid back in the grass and looked up at the clouds and tried to picture something in the clouds?
Oh, Steph and I did that last Wednesday.
Well, there's Dumbo flying over Woodlawn Lake.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nice.
You can see it.
Cool.
The head and the trunk. And here's the amazing thing. Everybody in the studio is like, yeah, we can see it this time.
Well, yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, great shot.
That's cool.
From Mr. McClellan. Thank you very much for that one. So.
Ralph, did you see it? Thank you.
Make sure everybody, okay.
Today's going to be, we're not going to have a heck of a lot in the way of clouds, but just a good day to just sit outside, lay in the grass and enjoy it because we're going to have some low humidity out there. Got some clear skies, right, a couple of leftover clouds off in the distance there, but upstairs in the atmosphere, we've got some very dry air, this darker shade of gray. And going back 12 hours, you see this bright spot right in here. Those were some of those storms that moved through late yesterday afternoon, dinner time or so, and did produce some severe weather in parts of the hill country and then right on the kind of western northwestern fringes of Bexar County. All of that is obviously completely out of the picture right now. We'll drop down a few more degrees. We're in the low 70s right now, drop down to the upper 60s, and then the wind is going to start to pick up somewhat out of the northeast. Temperatures will make it up into the mid and upper 70s late morning, and then by noon 78 degrees, and we top off later on today 85, and it's going to be just wonderful out there with the lower humidity, which has already started to kind of work its way into the picture. Humidity's actually dropped down significantly, even compared to what it was about say 3-4 hours ago. Lots of clear skies today. Overnight, good looking evening if you want to head on out this evening. And tomorrow morning is going to start off pretty good, a decent start, still comfortable with humidity, but then the clouds are going to be thickening up throughout the day. The humidity is going to come back into the picture throughout the day, and we may see a couple of showers. I think this computer model maybe overdoes it slightly, and this is just going to be 1 or 2 of them out there. A few showers, not going to be any sort of a drought break or anything like that. And then we will get into a pattern where we are going to have a lot of clouds in the mornings and then some sunshine mixed in with the clouds in the afternoons. One more time, going back in time, there were some of those thunderstorms that developed late yesterday afternoon and then continued on down to the south. So as far as rain chances this week, we got a couple opportunities, but not anything to really write home about. 78 degrees today at noon, mostly sunny skies, breezy today, wind out of the northeast about 10-20 miles per hour, high up to 85. Really comfortable day. Roll down the windows with all the dry air out there. Good looking evening. And tomorrow, let's have a decent start, and then humidity is going to come back in here. Clouds will definitely thicken up throughout the day. A couple of showers possible here and there tomorrow. And then Wednesday, morning clouds, some sunshine in the afternoon. Few showers on Thursday are possible. Notice how low temperatures stay in the 70s by the end of the week and the weekend. High temperatures right around 90. Again, lots of clouds in the morning, more sunshine or some more sunshine in the afternoon, plenty of humidity as well. So it's back to late spring.
We're going to squeeze every ounce of this goodness coming up in the next day or so out, aren't we?
We will enjoy the breezy weather.
About a 24-hour period with lower humidity.
Thank you, awesome. Thank you, Mike. 650, about 68 degrees.
And taking a look outside with live cam, slightly less humid at 68 degrees right now. And tomorrow on GMSA, the top Texas parks that are great for paddling. We're talking about places that are great for canoeing, kayaking, and stand-up paddle boarding.
I started screening for colon cancer because of my late husband, Jay. I wish he could have seen our daughter, Ellie, get married on the best day of her life. But colon cancer took him from us, like it's taken so many others. That's why I've made it my mission to talk about getting screened and ask people to share their reasons why.
I screen for my growing family. Being with them means everything to me.
I screen for my girls. They're always surprising me.
I screen for my son. I'm his biggest fan.
If you're 45 or older and at average risk, it's time to screen. Today, there are more screening options than ever before, including Cologuard.
Cologuard is non-invasive and finds 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages. It's not for those at high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Everyone has a reason to screen for colon cancer. If you're 45 or older, get started at missiontoscreen.com.
Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber, live at the scene of what has turned out to be a deadly fire just south of downtown. 2 people found dead inside a home. It's a home attached to a storefront here in the 4300 block of South Flores near Proband. Firefighters were called here just before 5 o'clock this morning. It was only after they put out the fire in the home and the storefront that they noticed the 2 bodies inside. Now, they are still in the investigation phase of this whole thing. They were able to knock down the fire, but they're still trying to figure out what caused it and to learn more about exactly what happened. Reporting live south of downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Expect some slowdowns if you are traveling 35 southbound at Powell. This has been the problem of the morning. Let's go ahead and show you that view at TransGuide. Hopefully these first responders will be wrapping up soon, but it has taken them quite a while. We have seen that build up in the southbound lanes. Thankfully elsewhere looking okay, but again, keep in mind those southbound lanes of 35 at Powell Street is going to be the big problem spot this morning. We'll watch it closely and have more updates coming up a little bit later on.
Still a few clouds out there. Temperatures have started to already drop down. We're in the low 60s hill country, 67 in town, and drier air continues to work its way in here, and that's going to be the case throughout the day. 85 for a high temperature. Open up the windows and enjoy it.
Thanks to viewers for letting us know that a woman named Sarah Costa's birthday is today.
Yes, of course. Happy birthday, Sarah.
To our very own Sarah Costa.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
We'll see her tomorrow. And thank you guys for joining us.